One of them is the Great Pyramid of Giza standing in the scorching desert of Egypt. Despite enduring the dust storms and changing civilizations for thousands of years, this vast structure is still standing tall. The surprising thing is that the faster the modern technology is and scientific research is moving forward, the mystery of this pyramid is getting deeper and deeper. Just think about 4,500 years ago when man did not have any modern cranes nor heavy construction machines, then 23 lack large stones with so much accuracy, how one on top of the other would have been frozen. The surprise increases when it is found that the weight of these stones is from 2 tons to 80 tons, and they were brought from the sky about 800 kilometers away from Giza. How was this done in the last era of modern technology? The Great Pyramid of Giza and the total of 138 pyramids in Egypt were made with this accuracy thousands of years ago, which seems that the people of that time had such knowledge about Earth, directions, and celestial events that it took a long time to understand modern science. But in that era, they finally understood the accurate size. Where did you get such detailed information about astronomical events such as solar eclipse, polar radius, and solar equinox? Was the Great Pyramid of Giza really just a cemetery, or was its purpose something else? Some researchers believe that the great scientist Nikola Tesla thought that these pyramids of Egypt would probably work like some kind of huge energy transmitters. Were these pyramids just the result of human labor, or is there any such lost technology buried in the pages of history which was deliberately hidden from the world? Let's open the layers of the mysteries of these great pyramids one by one and try to understand what is the truth that has surprised the whole world for thousands of years. Egypt has been a very ancient and historical country of the Arab history of amazing pyramids world, where thousands of years ago such kings ruled who had the most wealth and fame in the world. In this country, the Nile River flows, which is considered the longest river in the world. But today, when the name of Egypt is taken, the first thing that comes to mind is that it is the longest river in the world. The first thing that comes to mind is the pyramids of Giza. Giza, located in the southwest of Cairo, is a vast sandy area which is located on a high limestone plateau built on the west bank of the Nile River. On this, the Great Pyramid of Giza is standing like a stumbling block. Seeing its unparalleled structure, everyone presses their fingers under their teeth. Although there are about 130 pyramids in Egypt, but the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is also called the Great Pyramid of Khufu, is said to have been built by scientists and historians. It was made in 2560 BC, that is, about 4,500 years ago. Pharaoh Khufu, who made it, was the second ruler of the fourth dynasty of the Old Kingdom. During this time, the emperors in Egypt were called pharaoh, and they were also considered not only the king but also the symbol of divine power. But on this high plateau of Giza, not only the Great Pyramid but also many other unique examples of architecture are present. Near the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafra, which was made by Khufu's son Khafra, is seen a little further ahead in the Pyramid of Menkaure, which was made by Khafra's son Menkaure. In addition to these 3 main pyramids, there are also many small queen's pyramids, which were made for the wives of the kings and the members of the royal family. In addition to these, a large statue of the Great Sphinx, many mortuary temples, and the tomb of the mastaba, that is officials, has been laid. This place is a grand center of ancient architecture. When it comes to how the Great Pyramid of Giza was finally built, this is where the real mystery begins. The level of engineering, planning, and mathematics used to make it, scientists still hold their heads. The interesting thing is that the use of iron was not so common at that time, so ancient Egyptians mainly used copper tools. Because copper is a soft metal, it is necessary to make it strong. With the help of these copper and arsenic-made chisels and wooden hammers, the stones were hammered so accurately that their joints still look almost perfectly fit. It is also surprising that granite was used in the inner parts of the pyramid. Granite is considered one of the toughest stones on Earth, which today sweat even when cut by a modern machine. How was it cut thousands of years ago? After hundreds of years of research, archaeologists came to the conclusion that ancient Egyptians used a very hard stone called dolerite to cut granite. The stones were cut into large blocks. In order to break the pyramids, they used to put dry wood in the natural holes of the rocks and then put water on them. As soon as the wood dried and spread, its pressure increased so much that the large rocks also broke and separated. Similarly, large blocks of stone were prepared, which were later used for the construction of the pyramids. It is believed that it took 20 to 30 years to prepare the pyramid. 30,000 skilled workers worked day and night for 20 years. Giza's archaeological discoveries show that these people were not slaves, but trained workers and workers who were given the best facilities. They were given good clothes to wear, plenty of food, and a permanent house to live in so that they could work continuously by staying near the construction site for a long time. When the farmers were free from their work, they also came to the king's honor to help make the pyramid. After the continuous hard work of thousands of people and very strict planning, this pyramid was ready in about 20 years. But when it was completed, its size surprised everyone. A total of about 23 lakh large stones were installed in it. About 5.5 million tons of limestone, about 8,000 tons of granite, and about 5 lakh tons of mortar were used in it. If you add the weight of the entire pyramid, then it sits more than 5.75 million tons, i.e., 57 lakh tons. If you understand by example, then the total weight of Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, is about 5 lakh tons. That is, the Great Pyramid of Giza is about 11 to 12 times heavier than it. The weight of the stones in it is from 2 tons to 80 tons. But the surprising thing is that the stones used in it were brought from the sky, which is about 800 kilometers away from here. Without any modern crane, advanced transport system, or heavy machinery, it is also a headache for today's engineers to bring such heavy stones from so far and decorate them one on top of the other with precision of a millimeter. This structure is so huge that it can be guessed from the fact that its base is spread over 13 acres of land. In its original state, its height was about 482 feet, and in history, its height was so high that for about 4,000 years, it was the highest man-made structure in the world. But due to the storm, rain, and heat, its height has reduced to about 450 feet today. In fact, the pyramid it looks like a mountain of muddy stones. It was not like that in ancient times. Its heavy walls were covered with a shiny layer of polished white limestone. When the fast sun of the desert fell on these walls, the entire pyramid shone like a huge diamond. A special gold capstone was placed on top of it, which is called a pyramidion. It reflected the light of the sun and was visible from miles away. But with time, the earthquake collapsed the wall. This shiny limestone and golden capstone disappeared due to the removal of stones by looters and later civilizations, and using them in other buildings. Researchers and archaeologists have been studying the construction of this Great Pyramid for hundreds of years, and they have seen such engineering hidden in every corner of it that has surprised everyone. The most interesting thing is its temperature control. No matter how hot it is in the desert outside, the temperature inside the pyramid is always around 20 degrees Celsius. Ancient Egyptians had such a setting of air shafts and stones in it that it works like a natural AC, which is a living proof of their advanced architecture. The accuracy used in the construction of the pyramid and its coordination with the directions of the earth still amazes scientists today. The 4 directions of the 4 walls of the earth are aligned with north, south, east, and west with full accuracy. In that ancient era, when humans did not have any compass or modern surveying instruments, how did they find the true north without any mistake? It still forces you to think. In addition to this, there is another surprising thing about looking at the walls of the pyramid in detail. Usually, at first glance, it seems that it has only 4 sides, but in fact it has 8 sides. Each large wall of it is slightly pressed inward from the middle, which divides this pyramid into 8 parts. The most mysterious thing is that these 8 sides are especially clear on the day of solar equinox, when the sun's light falls on these walls from a special angle. Some research has shown that the sun's light falls on these walls from a special angle. Researchers believe that there is a strange mathematical connection between the dimensions of the pyramid and the size of the earth. The perimeter of the Great Pyramid and its height ratio is seen by adding the circumference of the earth, which many people claim that it was designed like a scaled model of the earth. The exact size of the Earth is known to us much later in the modern era, when humans sent their high-tech satellites in space and mapped the Earth. The question arises that 4,500 years ago, when there was no satellite or advanced technology, how did the ancient Egyptians know all this? And if the answer to this question is found, then another big question arises that why was such a big and complex building built in the middle of the scorching desert? These huge pyramids are given different theories about the real reason for making them. Why pyramids were built. The first and most accepted theory behind the construction of pyramids is that they have a tomb that is being a tomb. In fact, in the beginning, in ancient Egypt, such huge pyramids were not made to bury the kings. At that time, tombs were usually made of stones with high rectangles. They were like rectangular spiders, which were called mastaba. A hidden chamber was made below them where the corpse was buried. But around 2600 BC, during the time of King Djoser, there was a big change in this tradition. It is believed that King Djoser, after his death, ordered his talented architect Imhotep to make a tomb that was completely different from the previous one. Imhotep placed 6 mastabas on top of each other in such a way that we can see them. This is the first step pyramid in the world. This historic monument is still standing next to Memphis at the west bank of the Nile River in Saqqara. This step pyramid paved the way for the magnificent pyramids of the future, and a step was taken to show its status to the coming kings. Every new king wanted his tomb to be bigger and more beautiful than before, but the journey from the steep pyramid to the real smooth and flat pyramid was completed in the reign of the founder of the 4th dynasty, King Sneferu. Sneferu did many experiments and finally created a true pyramid which later paved the way for the Great Pyramids of Giza. After this, many pyramids began to be built one after the other in Egypt. Location was also very important for these structures. The ancient Egyptians regarded the Nile River as their lifeline and viewed the solar cycle as intrinsically linked to life and death. They believed that the eastern bank of the river, where the sun rises, was the realm of the living. Conversely, the western bank, where the sun sets, was regarded as the realm of death, or the land of the dead. They believed that the setting sun embarked on a journey to the afterlife every night. For this very reason, they constructed their tombs on the west bank of the river, ensuring that, after death, their souls could easily set out on their final journey alongside the setting sun. Ancient Egyptians believed so much in afterlife that they did not consider death to be the end, but a new beginning. According to them, the human soul accounts for its deeds in front of the gods in the other world, and the one who succeeds in this test becomes immortal forever. In the hope of getting this immortality, the king started building these magnificent palaces while he was alive. He had a large amount of food, precious treasure, jewelry, and clothes with him, so that they would lack nothing in the afterlife. Furthermore, after the death of kings, their bodies were mummified, placed inside a heavy stone coffin, and secured within a sealed chamber. The same is said about the other pyramids of Egypt, including the Great Pyramid of Giza, namely that they were said to have been built as the tombs of kings, queens, and princes. This theory holds a lot of importance because archaeologists have found ancient scripts written on many pyramids that explain these traditions. This mysterious pictographic language carved on these walls is called hieroglyphics. For centuries, this language remained a mystery, but in 1822 it was decoded with the help of Rosetta Stone, which opened the way to understand the history of ancient Egypt. But the surprise came when archaeologists discovered the ancient Egyptian script. After years of hard work, he looked inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, and he did not find any mummy or treasure there, but only an empty coffin. It is believed that the coffin must have belonged to Emperor Khufu, but perhaps the looters must have looted all the valuable items there thousands of years ago. But many people do not believe this, and believe that perhaps the real purpose of the Great Pyramid of Giza was much bigger than just a tomb, and this question raised many questions. The most exciting and controversial theory about the Great Pyramid of Giza is that conspiracy theories. It was not an ordinary tube, but an ancient power plant that had the ability to transmit electricity to the whole world. Some researchers who believe this theory claim that the ancient Egyptians were technically so advanced that they knew some ways of generating electricity that we still do not fully understand. There is a scientific selection of stones used in an interesting theoretical pyramid behind this claim. In its internal parts, stones such as dolomite and granite have been used. Quartz crystals are present in granite, which can produce piezoelectric effects when pressure is applied. Some theories believe that the pressure of millions of tons of weight of the pyramid will generate electric charge by falling on these stones, and the gold capstone placed on top of the pyramid will help to transmit that energy outward. In the most detail of this power plant theory, British writer Christopher Dunn in 1998, he put his book in the Geyser power plant. He claimed that the Great Pyramid actually worked like a huge machine that could generate energy with the help of hydrogen and harmonic resonance. Although this theory is quite controversial, but it certainly gave a completely different perspective of looking at the pyramids. Interestingly, the great scientist Nikola Tesla also believed that the Earth's surface and its electrical properties can be used to send electricity to the entire world without a wire. He started working on the Wardenclyffe Tower to prove it. Some people associate Tesla's thought with the pyramids' geometry and their location, and they believe that perhaps ancient civilizations also had some knowledge about the energy of the Earth, which today's world has not fully understood. Although mainstream historians consider it only a mythological story, but despite this theory still excites people. Behind the construction of the pyramids, an interesting theory is also given that they were used as a storehouse for storing grains. Christian writer Benjamin of Tudela and later many Bible scholars supported 12th century. The basis of their claim is a famous story of the Bible in which Joseph predicted the 7-year terrible famine in Egypt, and to save it, a huge warehouse was built to store a large amount of grain. However, modern archaeologists and scientists have completely denied this theory because most of the inside of the pyramid is filled with solid stones. Another widely discussed and controversial theory about the mysteries of the pyramids is the ancient aliens theory. People who believe this theory argue that thousands of years ago, man did not have such advanced technology or knowledge that he could build a large and accurate structure. Like one of the most famous names among those who made this theory popular is the famous writer Erich von Däniken, who claimed in his book Chariots of the God that in many carvings and statues of ancient civilizations, there are such shapes that look like space travelers wearing clothes, and some pictures look like UFOs. People who believe this theory believe that the pyramids actually worked like navigation markers or communication structures made by aliens, so that this would enable them to pinpoint the exact location on Earth from space. The pyramid's remarkably precise alignment with true north, along with the correlation between the 3 Great Pyramids of Giza and the stars of Orion's belt, compels many to wonder. The pyramids of the Golden Age are a great wonder of the world. They are not only a mystery for the ancient people, but they are also a great source of. The pyramids are a great source of inspiration for the modern people. But if we look at the actual meaning, then the biggest question of the pyramids is not why they were built, but the real riddle is how they were built. In that era, when cranes, metal tools, or commercial wheels technology was not present, then how would millions of heavy stones be brought from hundreds of kilometers away and brought to such a height? Scientists have tried to find the answer to this riddle, but to the best of their ability, the first and most widely accepted theory of pyramid. How pyramids were built construction is of external ramp. It is said that the ancient Egyptians had created a large slope outside the pyramid with soil, bricks, and mud that is a ramp. As the height of the pyramid increased, these ramps were also moved up and down. Experts believe that wooden poles were placed on the edges of these ramps, and hundreds of workers pulled the stones up by applying force at the same time by wrapping ropes on them. But many researchers believe for many reasons that it may not be possible to build the entire pyramid with the help of just an external ramp. Therefore, another scientific theory is given by which internal ramp theory. According to this theory, an external ramp was used to reach the stones up to 1/3 of the bottom of the pyramid, but for the next 2/3, a winding path was made inside the pyramid, with the help of which the stones were slowly taken up. In the 2000s, French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin tried to explain this idea through computer simulations. According to him, the pyramids were not built in the first place, but in the second half of the 20th century. The hidden passages inside the pyramid can be part of this construction technique. Another interesting claim is also made that the upper part of the pyramid was first made, and then the lower part was completed. The mention of this idea is also found in the writings of the ancient Greek historian Herodotus. A modern theory of the hydraulic lift system. Some researchers believe that the ancient Egyptians used the power of water to lift heavy stones. According to this theory, water was collected near the pyramid. The stones will be lifted by pressure of water. Although there is no solid evidence in support of this theory, but it is considered a controversial idea. Recently, another interesting discovery has emerged. The archaeologists found an ancient papyrus document. It is written that the big blocks of limestone were brought to Giza by boats on the way to the Nile River. This at least makes it clear that the Nile River and the rivers connected to it were used to bring the stones to a long distance. But when these heavy stones were removed from the river and brought to the ground, then the question arises of the ancient Egyptians and how they were moved forward on the sand of the desert. To explain this, another scientific explanation is given, which is called wet sand and friction theory. According to this theory, the ancient Egyptians used to pull the rocks on a large wooden sled. In physics, it is very difficult to pull heavy weight on dry sand because the sand collects in front of the sled and makes a pile. But if the sand is slightly wet, it becomes more rigid and the friction is reduced. With this, the same heavy stone can be pulled in half strength. The biggest proof of this is found in an ancient wall painting which was found in the tomb of Jehuti-Hotep. In this picture, many workers see a large statue being pulled on the sledge, and a man is pouring water on the sand right in front. Researchers believe that this is the simple but smart way to use ancient Egyptians to carry heavy stones to the construction site. Today, the pyramids of Giza are not just a pile of stones, but also the largest in human history. This is the World Heritage Site of UNESCO, and every year, millions of people from all over the world come to see it. On the other hand, with the help of modern technology, they are also trying to understand its secrets. To understand the secrets hidden in the pyramid, experts have made small holes many times and have also sent robotic cameras inside it. When one such robot went inside and sent the footage, the researchers were surprised. There were some strange symbols and letters written in red on the walls inside. It is believed that these marks may have been written by the workers or engineers of that time during the construction, but their real meaning is still not fully understood. Not only that, researchers believe that there may still be many hidden chambers in the pyramid. What is inside them has not been fully understood. In recent years, the attention of scientists has also gone to the ground below the pyramid. In 2025, some experts have shown the possibility that the Great Pyramid, which stands on the limestone plateau, can also have underground passages below it. Although research is still going on, but if these structures are confirmed in the future, it is possible that some other big mysteries related to the pyramid will be revealed. One of the 7 ancient wonders of the world, these pyramids are still earthquakes, wars, and time. In the future, man has to make as much progress as he can, but when it comes to engineering marvels, the name of the Great Pyramid will come first.